was a moment of clarity after 3 days of severe dehydration sickness. So I woke up and I thought, Rihanna is never going to give us R9, and you have to accept that, or you don't have to, but I finally accepted it. I get what that's like to be on the beach. You forget about everything. Nothing else matters except the waves. So to be perfectly honest, we're not getting that album from her. One of my only good hobbies is beach, so call me Ken. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there in my chanclas, working out at the outdoor gym they had. I'm out there in my flops just by the ocean, and doy ora on the beach with the humidity and in the salt water, and I was like, why? Just getting sun on my skin. Even after one day, I was like, I'm actually ready to go back home. I'm okay. I feel recharged, right? A whole week almost felt like overkill, but I'm gonna be honest, we got sick. I don't know if y'all have ever had severe dehydration, but imagine your intestines are twisting more and more and more, serpentine when a snake twists itself up, and then someone's also shanking you, and then from the other side, or maybe from behind, we can get creative, but kind of it's from two sides. So one person's shanking, the other side someone's just punching you. Is it a punch? I don't know. A punch or a headbutt. Get creative with it. That is what organ failure feels like, apparently, with severe dehydration. Y'all, I got this from Reddit. Take it with the grain of salt that you will, which that was one mistake we did when we were trying to rehydrate, was not having enough salt and sodium. I feel like I was in the beginning stages of my kidney, maybe really we're out, we're done with this, bitch, we're out. So I feel like I also had that pain, and I was told that your kidney does overheat usually during a marathon. So that's kind of what it felt like, but even worse. And I have broken my foot working the ramp, y'all. I have had decently painful things happen to me, but your girl doesn't even take ibuprofen on my period usually. It's not because my cramps are not painful, TMI. It's because I'm just it's another day on this earth of suffering. And I feel like I'd rather make myself have a high pain tolerance. I want to do training for that. Little bit psychotic. Y'all didn't need to know that. But the thing is, I don't usually take medication. It takes a lot of pain for me to take medication. My mom knows this, and she hates this because I was like this as a kid too. But severe dehydrated, I was at the point where I was like, do we need to go to the hospital to get an IV? And I'm like, it was to the point where both of us were sick enough that I was getting a little bit worried. And I was kind of thinking do we need to go to the hospital? Do we need to get an IV? Over a certain amount of time, you're supposed to just go check yourself and get an IV. I think it's 2 or 3 days. So I'm thinking, we might need to go to the hospital, but we don't got health insurance in Brazil. We don't got health insurance in the USA either. We're so down bad, and I'm thinking this is going to be funny. Very soon this is going to be funny. It's not funny right now, but it's going to be funny very, very soon. Having health insurance for a holiday is something that that's a whole nother conversation for another video. This one was a little bit more last minute, to be honest. We didn't talk about it, and I think we kind of forgot. But yeah, we don't even have health insurance in the USA. So that was a moment where I was like, one day I will tell my grandkids about this. I will tell my kids about this, and it'll be about the broke budget days, and it'll be super funny. Right now we're not really laughing, but we eventually recovered. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I still don't really know what we did wrong necessarily, because we ate the same food, so I don't know how she got food poisoning. We both thought we drank enough water, so I'm not really sure how we got so severely dehydrated. But I will say flying in general makes you dehydrated. When we flew, it was 9 hours to Brazil. Our bodies were already dehydrated. They were already dehydrated there. And then I went on a run our first day there. I went on a run. I was super excited and pumped. I had so much energy, and I pushed myself, and I knew that I was pushing myself. And I told myself, you should stabilize your horses. You should stay in the stable. You should hold back on the reins. And I did not, and I paid for that. But the thing is, I thought I was okay, because after the run, Ali and I bought the coconuts, and I had carbs. I had cassava, and it was really delicious. It was I highly recommend, 10 of 10. Can we talk about the fact that neither of us got sunburn? This gringa asta, I did not get sunburned. Ali did not get sunburned, and I take pride in that fact, but then we got dehydrated and food sickness. And I always see people that get sick on their holidays that they wait for and they plan for a whole year, and honestly it sucks, and I always really felt for them. And now it finally happened to me, where I'm like, wow, you really pay for this Airbnb, and you're just sick the whole time. And I'm honestly grateful that we had to do the tours, because we did ask to refund them and it was too late. We couldn't. So we did a city tour the first day, and it was a lot of walking, a lot of driving. And then the second day we did a long bus ride, but we went to a fishing village and we went on the boat and we swam a lot. And the boat one, I was cramping every time we went in the water, because the water was pretty cold. I'm allowed to say that. I know it's South America. The water is still pretty cold, okay? So I'm in the water and I'm cramping, and I'm kind of crouched over, and I'm this is how people die. That is so insightful. that's so exciting, like, to realize the correlation between, like, people don't just drown because they drown because maybe you get cramps, or you get like a side achy stitchy thingy, or you get a Charlie horse on your foot and you suddenly like can't swim. If y'all have never had a Charlie horse in your foot when you're like in the pool as a kid, you ain't never been that dehydrated is what I'm saying. And then when it comes to language, man, it is so beautiful. I really do love Portuguese. I feel like it is a mix between Italian and French and Romanian because it is, and Spanish as well. They're all Romance languages and Latin based. But the other thing is, I've given this tip before in a video and I don't mean it disrespectfully, please understand, but I was trying my best, you know. So if you mumble a little bit, you talk kind of fast, you just smile, you get the message across. You know what I mean? Also, Brazilians are super smart. Most of them are trilingual. But I'm swapping in Spanish words. I'm swapping in Romanian words. I put an Italian word in there at one point, and the message got across. And also words like that are kind of essential, like water, agua, apa. Spanish and Romanian, pretty much the same. We kind of get what you're trying to say. So I'm not saying don't learn the language. Like, out of respect, definitely try to prepare yourself with basic phrases. But both Ali and I would kind of like forget sometimes. And if we said something in French or we said something in Spanish, usually it could still be resolved. So don't be afraid to travel somewhere if you don't know the language or if you feel like it's unsafe. Like, research it, of course, but go there with respect. I think respect is like one of the most important things about travel. I have Hispanic coworkers, I have Hispanic students, and they're like, oh, you're going to Brazil for your birthday? Like, it's not safe. It's not safe. And Brazil to me just felt normal, like a big city normal, because I definitely see more similarities when I travel rather than differences, because again, I just feel like big cities are also just kind of unsafe. And Brazil didn't feel like super unsafe because I was out trotting the streets at 1 a.m. getting Pedialyte for Ali. Safety is definitely something that you need to think about. You need to not be showing off all your goods. As my bunica said, she travels to Europe all the time. Just store Bunny Aisha. Just put your money in your bra. Like, don't be crazy about it. You know? I thought that I didn't love Brazil and Rio de Janeiro. I really did. We were just sick for a decent portion of it, and I can't say a whole lot about it because Brazil's huge, if y'all didn't know. Like, it's big, right? We were in one little city, and then we traveled to the fishing village. So it's not like we did all, but I do think that Brazilians are really nice. I did really enjoy my first time in South America, and I feel like I definitely want to go back. I absolutely, like, the people are so kind. They're so sweet, and I feel like we didn't see, like, the footy museum that we wanted to see. But also, the portions, let's talk about it. I forgot to mention, the food is good. They use more garlic and onions than other Latin American countries that I've been to, even though I've only like been to Costa Rica, so like what do I really know, right? But myself really love the garlic and the onions that they use. But the portions of meat, can we talk about it? Portions of meat are like, I'm like, you know, I could have been bulking on this trip, and I had to have like my organs were starting to fail on me and shut down. Get over it. We were missing out on gains, and I'm upset about that. So, I don't know if y'all have ever had severe dehydration. I am the queen of being crusty, trust me. And I think the portion sizes are also why they're kind of built. Because they normalize, like, having, like, big pieces of protein. But you go here, and I'm not going to name names. Popeyes. And it's like, is this not a chicken sandwich? Why is there more bread than chicken? Did I order, like, what is going on? It's upsetting. It's upsetting, and I feel like I'm really going to miss that. I was going to go fly the light sport that we have because I have to test some maintenance on it and mechanical issues. But the wind going on, that's moving really fast. Yeah, no, I'm grounded. But the METAR, that's weird. The METAR did not. The METAR showed like variable at 7. Lies.